Hi everyone, welcome back to the football show with Neeraj and Yash. We are reviewing the group stage of the UEFA Euro 2020, and I think we'll start off chronologically. Neeraj, what are your thoughts on Group A?
Hi Yash, good to be back after a while. I think we've had a great group stages of the Euros. It was along the predictable lines, but what I did not predict, or rather you did not predict, was what happened in Group A. So what happened to your dark horses, Turkey, Yash? You told me in the preview that Turkey was going to be the dark horses to watch out for. They could get into the quarters and all that. Crashed out in the group stage itself with 0 points. My God. And you actually made me pick up Turkey players in the fantasy, Euro fantasy, and they gave me no points. Like Burak Yilmaz didn't score, Soyuncu didn't do anything. My God, it was, I don't know why I even listened to you, man. But pretty
So
bad.
I have a theory for why Turkey performed so badly. It's because the great Ozan Kabak didn't start any league games. So had they started him in one of the group matches, they would have definitely got a few points. No, but jokes aside, I mean it was absolutely shambolic. Turkey were coming into the tournament, beating the likes of France and Netherlands at home, and I think there was no defense, there was no attack, there was no midfield. It was just absolutely
Schoolboy. It was
shambolic.
schoolboy. Yeah.
No, I mean, uh, they were just so open on the counter attack. It's and just simple balls over the top that that have caused them, and they haven't scored enough goals as well. So yeah, I mean, Turkey absolutely shambolic. But as bad as Turkey have been, how good have Italy been this, and how impressed are you with Italy?
Damn impressed, Yash. I remember again in the preview you were saying that Italy is a team to watch out for. I wasn't sure. Like I knew they had good players, like they had people up front like Insigne and Immobile, but I wasn't sure if they'll all gel together. The defense, the center of the defense, Bonucci, Chiellini are quite old. I wasn't sure, but they look the favorites to me for now. It's still very early days because they didn't have the top teams in their group for sure, but my God, they were damn impressive. They played a B team against Wales and beat them almost in the second or third gear. They never got out of that level, and too impressive for now. So I think looking at the group stages, they'll be my favorites for now.
Yeah, and what's impressive is that almost they've got a 26-man squad to the Euros. 25 of the 26 have started games this season. In the championship, only Alex Meret hasn't started a game. It just goes to show the team spirit is just so high, and the goals aren't coming from conventional sources. You know, that's the sign of a great team as well. Because you've got, I mean, I hadn't heard of Locatelli before this, but Locatelli goes and shows up and drops a brace, and I mean, it's just been brilliant. Yeah, I mean, Italy were just outstanding in the group stage. I mean, it's up to them to decide how deep they can go into the tournament, but what a team this is.
Definitely, I think it's they can look forward to having a good tournament this time around. And Wales and Switzerland got through despite not playing at their best. Switzerland was good at times, and they got through as well. So that's good on their part. So let's move to Group B. Group B, where there was a lot of drama, a lot of heartache, starting with the first game itself. And let's move into Denmark straight away. What team spirit they showed after everything that they went through in the first game itself. Quite impressive, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, I think they were forced to play the game against Finland. They were forced to complete that game. Their heads weren't in it, and this is where UEFA really has to be questioned as to their show must go on attitude, and I think it's going to cost them at some point in the future. But credit to Denmark. You know, they completed the game against Finland. They had a little bit of a tough one, and but to come back and score 4 goals against Russia And I think they didn't know they had qualified until the last few seconds. Even after full time, they didn't know they had qualified because the game was being played out. The other game was being played out, and they were all looking on their cell phones and checking. And that's the beauty of modern football. It's every game in the Euro group stage is effectively like for example, the Premier League last game of the season, where no one knows what the result is going to be, and every team's just trying to do their best. So, but really happy for Denmark. It's good luck in a way that they won just one game and now they get to play Wales in the knockout stage.
Yeah, true. So it's not a difficult game either.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's I mean, it's worked out well for them. And yeah, I mean, they're the team that's won everyone's hearts this tournament.
Definitely.
So yeah,
and I think with that team spirit, I think that fairy tale run definitely can continue. I think they have a lot more team spirit than Wales. Wales have been disjointed, just depending on Bale and Ramsey to pull things off. So I think they can actually move far in the tournament as well. And in Group B, Belgium, I was a little skeptical about how Belgium would play again, because they had a team of quite a few old players in the center of the defense again, and Hazard, De Bruyne coming off injuries. So pretty impressive again. They just whitewashed the teams. They had a struggle in the second game, but they were really impressive. Hazard getting back into form slowly. De Bruyne at his best, almost at his best. I think Belgium also have a really great chance going forward.
And Lukaku, oh my God! I mean, I just feel that Lukaku gets a lot of stick that he doesn't really deserve. I think he's the best striker in world football at the moment, and not just because of pure attacking skills. It's the way he holds the ball up. His pure strength. I think he can hold off two center backs by himself. I mean, that's the strength of the guy. And when he played for Belgium, he was involved in the setup of multiple goals. And when he's not setting up the chances, he's finishing them. So I mean, Lukaku is just outrageous. And you spoke about Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne, he's just a magician. He just fractured his eye socket in the Champions League final, comes back, first game back, goal and assist. It's just Kevin De Bruyne things.
True.
Yeah.
I think Belgium.
So yeah. Belgium definitely have a chance. Yeah, and moving on to actually Group C here, and a team that has similarly dominated Group C, whom I didn't really expect to do that well. I'm talking about the Netherlands, of course. What kind of an impression have they made on you?
Pretty similar. I had similar expectations from Netherlands as I had from Italy as well. I remember telling that they're more dependent on Depay than Argentina is actually dependent on Messi. But the captain has actually stood up. With the real captain, Virgil van Dijk not being there, Gini has actually stepped up and is contributing all around the pitch with the goals, the assists, and also doing all the defensive duties in the midfield. Depay, as usual, is shining. Their defense actually looks solid. So I think Netherlands, I thought they would be more defensively resolute and just getting those one or two goals, but they've actually tried to play that total football as well, which they're very well known for. So Netherlands, again, very impressive for me.
Yeah, and Denzel Dumfries, I hadn't even heard of him before the Euros, and he's a defender. He's being played out at right back, and he's got a couple of goals. I mean, if that doesn't exemplify total football, I don't know what does. And yeah, I mean, it's good for the Netherlands because it's they have all these breakout stars or unknown, relatively unknown players who are just bursting onto the big stage really nicely for them. Yeah. What about the other team that has qualified? Austria. This one's a little under the radar. radar actually. I didn't expect Austria to get 6 points. But what do you think about it?
Me neither. I thought the points would be shared around between these teams, but I think Austria were pretty impressive again. Uh, the main name obviously being David Alaba in defense. He's playing in defense, but from the defense, he's whipping balls all over. I think if they can actually take that chance, move him a little into midfield, I think the damage that he can create is a lot more. And I think that would definitely help Austria moving forward.
Correct. And the goals that they've conceded are because Alaba is playing in defense and out of position, which is quite scary because Alaba is moving to Real Madrid this summer to replace Sergio Ramos. So God help Real Madrid. I'm not a Real Madrid fan, so it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was more about Group C. Moving on to Group D, and before the tournament, I remember you saying that it's coming home and England are going to play some brilliant attacking football. And I remember telling you it's just going to be Southgate and his three at the back, and he's going to play two defensive midfielders and bore everyone. How do you think England's campaign has gone so far? And
I'm not sure if it's coming home, but I definitely think England are staying home. I don't think they'll go forward in the tournament if they keep playing like this. Man, they have Foden, Grealish, Mount, Sancho, Rashford, and yet there's nothing coming in. Kane has been out of form. I thought he'll be the one who will be challenging for the top scorer title and hasn't scored a single goal yet in the tournament so far. And not much of contribution from the fullback on the right side yet because Walker has been the one who's been playing. Two defensive midfielders, Sterling being played. Sterling has scored 2 goals. Surprisingly, he's looking in good form. He's at least
Sterling is the only one who scored.
The irony about that. But it looks very strange. I mean, I remember you telling me that England are going to be boring and all that. But I thought looking at this attacking talent, they will be putting a few of them out. We'll be seeing some attacking football, probably 3-4 goals. Been pretty boring so far. I haven't enjoyed watching England play, and I didn't even watch their third game. That's how irritated I was with the way England have been playing.
And I don't understand how you won't start Sancho in a major tournament. I mean, I'm not saying this because he's a Manchester United target and things like that. The man has 114 goal contributions in 147 games. He's played in the Champions League. He's been around the top leagues for almost all his career. And not starting him in a major tournament is just wasting his talents. And I don't know what Southgate has got against Grealish as well. But England's two most attacking, brightest talents have been on the bench. And that's being seen in their play. So England have scored 2 goals, conceded 0, and they have 7 points. They're on top of the league, on the top of the group. But, I mean, it's just been so bad. The only plus point for them would be that because of the 2 defensive midfielders, they've kind of stifled the opposition, prevented them from scoring at all. So that's a good takeaway. We were bashing Tyrone Mings at one point, but Tyrone Mings has actually started a decent number of games. Got a few minutes under his belt, and he's not conceded the goals. So credit where it's due. I also remember you talking about Croatia and how they were an aging team, but that last game that they played was absolutely amazing.
They annihilated Scotland really in that second half because it was a very intense first half. Both of them very cagey affair, and then Modric magic all over again. That outside of the foot finish was just classic Modric really, and that's the difference, right? You see Scotland actually played well all through the tournament. They deserved a win against England. Even in the first game against Czech Republic, they played well. But when you have these star players, they really stand out against a team which has like a bunch of individuals playing well. And Scotland just couldn't score a goal. They didn't have people up front who were capable of scoring, and that's what ended up being in their bad.
Yeah. And it's interesting that how you bring that up, because Wales and Scotland, they're quite similar teams, but Wales have Aaron Ramsey, who always manages to get the key goal for them at some point. But Scotland's front two and their midfield just do not have the same quality to match. So yeah, I mean, it's a bit sad for Scotland, but good for Croatia and the Czech Republic, who have managed to sort of get themselves into the knockout stages.
Is it Czech Republic or is it Czech Republic? Man, what a goal that was by Patrick Schick. He carried Czech Republic through, really.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. I mean, I remember seeing that goal, and the moment Schick hit it, I thought that this is going over the top of the goal. But it just dropped out of the sky and got under the bar and got in. To hit it from 40 yards, it's not even 40, it must be 50 odd yards. He just smashed it from the half line. And I see this, the curve that he brought on the ball
was
also,
insane.
Goal of the tournament. I mean, Group D were having their own little goal of the tournament competition with Modric's Trivela goal outside of the foot, Patrick Schick knocking one in from the halfway line. But yeah, moving on to Group E actually, and there is a surprise entry here at the top of the group, with Sweden topping the group and Spain finishing second. I kind of felt that was quite. Yeah. I mean, I remember talking to you about the Spain and their tiki-taka, and I remember you telling me that there is no one to finish the goals.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, Morata. I mean, how has Spain gone from David Villa to Morata? To be fair, I mean, he gets his goals, but he's caught offside around 5 times a game, and when he gets a penalty, he doesn't put that away. And because he doesn't put his penalties away, they give it to Gerard Moreno, who doesn't put his penalties away either.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah. And when you're dissing them, they go out in their final group game and put 5 past poor Slovakia.
What was that?
Yeah.
So Slovakia were actually ahead of Spain going into that last game. So I was actually expecting an even contest. I thought it would be a good challenge. 5-0 in the final game. What was that after all that Spain did in the first couple of games? They look clueless up front. I told you that they'll play all these nice, neat passing, move it up front. Morata kept missing. Gerard Moreno was good, but not the finishing touch that was required. Sarabia, Pedri, all nice players, but not capable of getting those goals. That's the problem with Spain, but you never know. They just dispatched 5 in the last game, so maybe that's confidence for them.
Yeah, perhaps it can kickstart their tournament. But the surprise for me was Sweden finishing top of the group. And I don't know. I mean, perhaps the absence of Zlatan has made the Swedes click better as a team, because Forsberg was unplayable in the group stages. I mean, he kept getting the clutch goals. He got a clutch goal against the Slovakians, and he came up with 2 against Poland as well. And of course, yeah. So Forsberg deserves a lot of credit because of the fluidity of their moves as well. A quick transition from defense into attack. I mean, you don't see a Swedish team playing that well. I mean, I haven't seen a Swedish team play that well in a very long time.
True.
So, but what I'm really sad about is Poland and Robert Lewandowski. The man did everything he could. He scored 3 out of 4 Poland's goals in the tournament, and yeah, it's kind of unlucky that Poland are going home. But Yeah, it is what it is, I guess.
They didn't have a team around him. It was just Poland completely dependent on Lewandowski. He got the goals, but not enough points on the board, and the defense was leaky, so nothing much they could do. And on Sweden, I think they were impressive in the World Cup as well a couple of years back. So I think it's just a continuation. The team has developed a lot more without Zlatan. They're playing more like a team, have individuals for the right positions, and those guys are actually playing a lot better than what you expect. So I think Sweden have really clicked, and I think they can actually progress in the tournament as well moving forward.
Yeah, I agree. And finally, I think we come to the group that's captivated almost everyone. I mean,
Finally.
we come to Group F. The group of death really lived up to its hype, huh?
It more than did, actually. I did not expect it to be this close, going down till the last minute in both the games. A goal this side meant this team was knocked out. A goal in this game meant this team was knocked out. It was really enthralling till the last minute of the game. So it was almost like your Manchester United, Manchester City in 2011-12. This game got over. If a goal was conceded in that game, you could be out of the tournament. That's how it was. Amazing group, and Hungary really punched above their weights, and what a challenge they posed for all the three teams. It was not just one game they played well and they conceded 5 like Slovakia. Throughout the tournament, they were amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think more than Poland, I feel bad for Hungary because they were brilliant against Portugal. I mean, they conceded two very late on. That isn't a reflection of them at all. And they drew against France and Germany. And their last game was actually quite brilliant, and they were quite unlucky as well. They scored a couple of brilliant goals. I mean, you don't see that at a club level. A group of not so distinguished footballers gelling so well as a team, and like you said, punching way above their weight and giving the so-called group heavyweights a big run for their money.
Absolutely.
Germany have been a little lucky here to get off the hook. They left it very late, didn't they?
Definitely. That's the same thing I told you about Germany as well. Again, they have a lot of good creative players, but up front, they played extremely well against Portugal. I actually thought they would lose against Portugal after Portugal smacked 3 goals against Hungary obviously in the last 10 minutes, but Germany were coming off a loss. But Germany actually played really well against Portugal to actually take them into the next round. If they hadn't won that game, they might not have qualified. That's pretty amazing. And you don't have that striker up front. You can't just depend on someone like Kai Havertz or Gnabry or Muller to keep getting you those goals. You need some striker up front. Werner's not doing the job. Kevin Holland's not going to be the man. So no idea who's going to do it for Germany moving forward. Portugal, I really expected a lot more from them with that fearsome front four up front. You have Ronaldo, you have Bernardo Silva, Jota. And I hope you have the answer now. Why I did not mention Bruno Fernandes back then. He was invisible throughout the tournament, bro. Where was he? That's the reason I left out his name. I hope you have your answer now.
I got it. No, but I think Fernandes plays in the position which Ronaldo currently occupies for Portugal. So I think he's being played a little out of place, and I'm not sure, when he'll get his chance for Portugal, but definitely not as long as Cristiano is around. And Cristiano has been brilliant for Portugal. Every time you write off the man saying he's 36, 37, and he just comes up and smashes 5 goals in the group stage. I haven't picked Ronaldo in a single fantasy game until now, and I regret it. It's cost me about 50 points. But I've kind of listened to the hype around people writing Ronaldo off, and he's just gone and hit 5 goals. Of course, 2 of them are penalties, and he got a lucky one against Hungary as well. But the guy just comes up clutch when you need him to. Another team, I mean, and I spoke about France as tournament favorites, but now I'm not I'm not too sure about that. They won the group, credits to them, but they haven't been convincing enough. They haven't shown the brilliance that got them the world championship. Of course, they've got the midfield of Pogba and Kante, who have never lost a game in 30 matches. But yeah, I mean, they've got to get Kylian Mbappe firing. He hasn't clicked in the group stage. They did get the all-important win over Germany, which kind of got them through to the next stage. But yeah, I mean, they'll have to pull up their socks if they have to go deeper in the tournament.
Yeah, that goal against Germany also was fortuitous. It was an own goal at the end of the day. So all three teams from this group of death do not look convincing. And three teams that we did not actually talk a lot about, like we weren't too confident. Netherlands, Italy, and they've actually done well. Belgium as well. They've actually done a lot better than we anticipated. So very, very interesting as we move into the knockout stages. Teams punching above their weight, and good teams that we expected would do well are not quite doing it. And it's also a up and down draw. Some two good teams facing up against each other. So it's going to be very interesting moving forward.
Yeah, it's going to be a cracking knockout stages, and we're going to be previewing that as well. So stay around for the next video. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Thank you.